As a child, you were very misunderstood because people did not understand your rage and your anger. Because basically, all of the anger and rage that you would project, because you were looked at as a very difficult child, a very angry child, someone that always had like an attitude or whatever. But the thing is, you were just hurt and traumatized and neglected, abandoned, and unloved, and you did not have the emotional maturity to regulate yourself. All of that was stemmed from your lack, your abandonment, your lack of love, and the abuse you were also dealing with. But what would happen is you would come around certain people, like come around your relatives, and they would act like everything was all fine. And while you're basically sitting here just dealing with all of this pain because you would have family members like siblings, parents would treat you differently when you would get around like your cousins and stuff like that. And then, a lot of times they would like try to gang up on you or embarrass you, humiliate you, and bully you in front of your other cousins, and then you would react. And then it was a lot of reactive abuse, and people misjudged you, misunderstood you, and misinterpreted a lot of your rage. But then what happened is you all like started to grow up, and you all kind of like went your separate ways. And then what happened is you came back later as an adult, and they began to see that there was a complete like turnaround. Like you weren't even the same person that they remember. You're not that same person anymore. And basically what they realized is how they realized that once you became a totally new person and you have all this wisdom, all of this strength, and they see how much pain you've gone through, they're seeing you in a different light, and they're like, wow, this whole time, that's probably why they were acting out so much as a child, is because they were just hurt. They were just going through a lot. And it's like you grew up to have the biggest heart. You grew up to be the sweetest. You grew up to be the kindest. You grew up to be the most empathetic. And it's like you grew up to be the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. But beforehand, your inner child had this hard exterior because you needed to be. You had to protect yourself because there was nobody else around you to protect you. So now people are basically kind of like giving you grace for how you were as a child, because they're seeing the aftermath of how your childhood trauma led into adulthood, and they see that you are doing the best that you can with what you were given, and they see that you missed out on a lot. They see that you didn't have a good foundation, so they're giving you grace, and they're like, you know what, like that child was just hurt. I forgive them for what they've done.